Martin, and welcome to your favorite online internet program, www.sxmtalk.com. Of course, I'm your host, Christopher Emmanuel. Thank you guys for logging on. Call a friend, call someone, and tell them to join us now to www.sxmtalk.com. Hope you guys are doing I hope you guys are doing well, and everything is fine with you all. Well, we're gonna have another interesting show for you here tonight. I want to get into a discussion. You see, I done itchy about it already, so I want to get right into the discussion. I forget to post it up on Facebook when the Prime Minister say it's insanity. Those were her words. What is it she referring to? It's madness, it's craziness. You know, and it freaked me out because it made me laugh when I listened to the Prime Minister on the radio talking and stuff like that. Oh, and she received a letter that was inviting her to a meeting, and she just took it and she just put it down here, you know, because it was just an invitation. And I'm saying to myself, but yes, it was an invitation to invite you to the meeting. What's wrong with that? So how it should have been done? Huh? How it should have been done is send out the invitations for the ministers to attend the meeting. This Prime Minister is really, really getting over her head. Now we are clearly and squarely seeing the real dictator here in St. Martin. The Prime Minister figured and believed that only she can get things done, and only something is really wrong with the way our Prime Minister is thinking. Her dictatorial approach to everything is crazy. The Prime Minister make mention that the meeting held by the Council of Ministers, the majority of the Council of Ministers that were chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister, William Mallet, it was insanity. You know, it broke all the rules, against all the rules of good governance and the rules of order, and it was just downright the worst, and everything was horrible. And basically, we worse than all the bombing and all kind of stuff were going on in Iraq and Pakistan, and the government St. Martin is the worst because every rule was broken. Why? Because a majority in the Council of Ministers passed a motion to dissolve Parliament. A majority. But the Prime Minister not putting the motion on the agenda point for weeks. For weeks. Not even trying to discuss it. For weeks. Hiding the letter from the governor. For weeks. Ignoring the 3,000 plus signatures for new election. Those things ain't madness. Those things are by the law. Those things are good. Those things are perfect. Those things are done the right way. Why? Because the Prime Minister is doing it. One person. One individual. So it's okay. It is sane. It's all right. But a majority in the Council of Ministers, that's insanity. But not only that, the new majority of 8 in Parliament condemn the actions of the Council of Ministers. They condemn it. Huh? They say that we're destroying the image of St. Martin. And I'm saying to myself, seriously? Seriously? The majority in the Council of Ministers is destroying the image of St. Martin? So what you guys did and are doing is not destroying the image. And I can't get to understand again, we are stuck right back to square one. We are stuck right back to square one. A majority in the Council of Ministers is all right? No, it's not all right. They shouldn't exist. They shouldn't have a word. They're insane. We're condemning it. but a majority in parliament is king. Where did you guys get that notion from? Read your constitution. Our constitution does not talk about one chamber of government being higher than the other. It does not. It does not. But everything what the Council of Ministers do is wrong. So wait, when you guys decided to hold a meeting in Parliament with the President of Parliament present, okay, but you guys decided to come together, hold a meeting, pick up some riffraff off of the street, throw him in the meeting and tell him keep a record, that was good. That was right. And according to the Prime Minister, her legal advice told her that it was a legal meeting. You see the hypocritical nature we have and the double standards? Everybody in that legal advice cabinet should be fired. Because that was a legal meeting. It was done right, it was correct. Okay, fine, sure, no problem. The Council of Ministers did the same thing. They came together in the majority. The Deputy Prime Minister chaired the meeting, sent out invitation for the Prime Minister to attend. She refused because it was like she's being invited, because that's the worst thing ever. So she just took it and like, she didn't pay no attention to it. But that meeting wasn't legal. That meeting broke all the rules. That meeting was against everything. That meeting was insane. That meeting shouldn't go on. That meeting is the worst. It's the worst meeting. What do your council of advice has to say now? It will be interesting, very, very interesting to hear what your lawyers have to say. Very interesting. What is it your lawyer have to say about that meeting? Because it's the same thing. And the governor said, if the meeting is done again in the proper manner, where members of parliament are duly informed in time, he would consider the meeting and validate it and make it a legal and binding meeting. Good. That's what the governor said for a meeting over in Parliament. Again, St. Martin, it will be interesting to hear what the governor have to say about the same identical meeting over in the Council of Ministers. Over in the Council of Ministers. So why is it madness? Why is it madness, people? Why is it wrong? I'll tell you why it's wrong. Because the Prime Minister wants to keep herself and gangsters in government. That is what the Prime Minister wants. At all cost. At all costs, the Prime Minister must remain in government for 1 year. And then you hear this notion from people, oh, William Marlin and other Council of Ministers trying to hold on to power, they're greedy. Where did you guys get that ridiculous notion from? It is the most ignorant and stupid thing I've ever heard. Here you have a group of individuals saying, let us go to new elections. They are putting, okay, their political career and the rest of the members of parliament on the line for new elections. So how is it that they want to stay in government at all costs? I'm trying to figure out why people don't use their brain sometimes and think. It's the Prime Minister who's trying to do it. And not only trying to do it, but using dictatorial means and measures to keep herself in parliament. I wonder what my boy Dave got to say about this one now. Huh? Why is it that we must respect everything that comes from parliament, but we shouldn't respect what comes from the Council of Ministers? Why? One is not higher than the other. One is not higher than the other. But the Prime Minister is doing everything at all cost, to deny the people of St. Martin their right Deny the people of St. Martin their right to go to new elections. We are asking for new elections based on events that have taken place. The Badabing corruption scandal, the bribery scandal. Come on, St. Martin people, come on. We cannot go in government with these gangsters again. We cannot allow the third Sarah Westcott cabinet to function again. It failed once. It failed twice because of no cohesiveness and professionalism. These guys don't have no shame. Huh? And now we must get a third cabinet with the same individuals. Well, I want to know how my boy Romain Laville doing now. It's rumored. And you know paparazzi say from his sources, and if it's not from paparazzi, it's not good. But it came from him over on the BB that the member of parliament is having a hard time, a very hard time passing the screening to become a minister. Well, let me tell you the rumor what I heard. I heard that he's going to give up his seat anyway. He's going to give up his seat anyway to Mark Mingo. Yes, the managing director of the harbor. And in turn, he would become the director of the harbor. Mark Mingo would take up the seat as Minister of Tourism. Tia Heidegger can get back the seat in Parliament and remain going to get the position as Harbor Managing Director. That's a rumor that I heard. Okay, that's a rumor that came to me, and it makes sense. It makes sense. The only thing is, it's just for a year. So I'm questioning why would Mark Mingo give up the position at the harbor to become a minister for a year? But these guys and them just think light years ahead. So you got to give them that. You got to give it to them. So we would not know, or we would not understand why they are doing it. Okay? But that's the rumor that I heard. Okay? So, I mean, it's one flock, eh? It's one flock. It's the roost. It's the chickens. They home now. They roosting now. So they're concocting their plans. You see? Another thing again, this is how we are in St. Martin. I've been doing some work way down in the lowlands area and coming home 2 and 3 and 4. Last night we came 6 o'clock in the morning. And for the past 2 nights, we seen Par 1 all after 4 in the morning. Park up by Tantra. Park up there by, interesting. Very, very interesting. And I'm going to say this to everyone. When you going on your personal time to enjoy your personal time, park up the government car and go in your own car. Park it up. Park it up so we know who driving the Par 1. Park it up. Drive your own car. We used to see the Minister of Education, the government M3 or M2 or M3, whichever one used to be parked up a lot down there too. Park it up, man. And drive your own vehicle when you're on your own time. But you see the prestige as a minister, the privilege. Here comes the President of Parliament. Here comes the minister. Park up the blinking government car when you're going on your own personal and private leisure time. Park it up. Park it up. You see? So interesting. Governor Holiday receives final report formation. Interesting. And I think the governor now, as a matter of fact, people of St. Martin, we need to start questioning the role of the governor. Why he's here. What's his role? Okay? Because not even the signature of 3,000 brave individuals is being considered. Now, 3,000 signatures is more votes than what the whole entire Democratic Party got for themselves. And we are simply omitting and throwing it out of the window. The prime minister the governor refer it back to the prime minister and this and that. But I mean, come on, guys. Come on. How long are we going to continue like this? 3,000 brave souls is asking for new election. And then much more individuals signed the petition. However, they ain't had their ID card, they ain't had this, they ain't had that. But we can't use that. Let me read what it says. On Wednesday afternoon, June 5th, 2013, His Excellency, the Governor of St. Martin, Dr. Anders Eugene Holliday, received a draft national decree from caretaker Vice Prime Minister William Marlin regulating the dissolution of Parliament and the holding of early elections. In addition, Governor Holliday received a report of the current formation process from Formateur Sarah Westcott Williams on late Friday afternoon, June 7th, 2013. 2013. The governor has informed Minister Marlin and Formateur Westcott Williams that he will evaluate the draft national decree and the formation report taken present regulating into account. Now, I mean, it is clear. It is clear. You received the one from the Prime Minister late on Friday afternoon. You received the one from the Deputy Prime Minister on the 5th. Governor, you have us in this cause where we are today. Why? The letter first, you, Governor, failed to do due diligence and see that the Council of Ministers received it. Because if they had received it, they would not have resigned, and this would have been much further today. The Prime Minister, and what is the sanction for the Prime Minister, Governor? What are you saying? What is her sanction? What is her penalty? Something must be wrong when she hold back vital information from the people. Vital information. Something must be wrong. And you have nothing to say, so you're going to take it into account. What account you're going to take into? You know that the formation of the third Sarah Westcott Williams cabinet is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because a motion to dissolve Parliament was initiated first and went through the process first than what Parliament was doing. And the Prime Minister kept delaying her political tactics, her dictatorial behavior. She kept on delaying the process, refusing to put it on the agenda. I can't get this understand. We have gangsters in government. Gangsters. And that's what it is for them, what they can get, what deals they can make, who want to be this and who want to be that. And everything what you're hearing from the Prime Minister, and I'm encouraging you guys to listen to the Prime Minister good. Listen to her over and over, and everything from the Prime Minister is I, and me, and I this and I that. I receive an invitation and I decided just put it on the side because I was this and I. Get off of that horse, Prime Minister. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the country. It's about the people. And let me ask you this, Prime Minister. Let me ask you this. What happened to country above self? What happened to it? What happened to it? Huh? The majority of 8 in Parliament condemns the action. They condemn the action. You guys, you majority, you. No, let me say it good. Romain Laville, Roy Marlin, Leroy DeWeaver, you, the 3, is what have us in this situation today. And that is what should be condemned. For your idiotic, stupid reason for training the government. No cohesiveness, no professionalism. If that is the case, then that is on you. Because then you have not been doing your job as members of Parliament to see to it that ministers are conducting the day-to-day business of the people in a good fashion. You are the ones that didn't do your job. So if it's anyone who's not professional and who has not been cohesive, it's you 3. It's you 3. But we have a serious and grave situation. A serious and grave situation. We have Theo Heiliger, okay, who has been in the media from since 10-10-10 with bribery of the police officers. From since 10-10-10, he has been in the media. And we have our prosecutors refusing to launch a proper investigation. We have the bada bing tape again with the name of who? Theo Heiliger. So listen to it, St. Martin. From since 10-10-10, Theo Heiliger name was called bribing, okay, and buying votes. From since 10-10-10. Now we got a bada bing tape again, whose name is being called Theo Heiliger. For doing what? Let us bribe the Member of Parliament, Patrick Illage, to come back over so I can get back in power. Theo Heiliger's name is being called again. Then you have Romain Laville, went and filed a complaint again for who? Theo Heiliger. Again on what? Bribery. Saying what? That he tried to bribe me 250,000, 350,000. Bribery. Again, Theo Heiliger. I mean, we have these cases. We have these questions. We have these deals. We have these things going on. And we must just sit back and allow the government to farm and go on regular with these guys. And yes, I'm going to say it here. It is not the same as last year. It was not the National Alliance who dropped the government last year. It was not. Alliance had nothing to do with the dropping of government last year. So it's not the same thing. The difference here is you have a group of individuals whose verse, whose concern, who can talk, who know their constitution, who know what to do, is challenging. Putting up a challenge to what is going on here. Why it wasn't done last year? Because Theo Heiliger didn't know what to do. He can't talk. He verse. He can't sprakel the Netherlands good to understand what the Constitution is saying about dissolving Parliament. So in all of this back and forth and articles and coming out, what you have Minister Marlin and Prime Minister Westcott, 2 of the most articulated leaders in the country. You think Theo Heiliger could stand in their shoes and debate and argue that point? He cannot. So of course he didn't have a challenge last year because he don't know what to do. And that's the difference in leadership. That's the difference. There was no corruption scandal and all kind of thing going on when it happened to him. He wanted new elections because he felt that his party was still up to the prime and he just get kicked out to call new elections. But what was the reason for calling it? What was the reason? But now you have a reason. Not only you have a reason, but you have a challenge. And this is what I'm trying to impose on the people of Sxmtalk. That's the difference. I'm not taking away the articulating skills of Sarah Westcott Williams. The woman is good. You don't understand what she's saying. You can't understand what she's saying. But the Prime Minister can talk. She got speech. William Malin can talk. He got speech. But where does he hear from Theo? What kind of talk? He come up in the newspaper with an article about who's a winner and who's a this and the people are winning. Who understand anything? What do you understand? You have a challenge now saying that no, this is not right. It shouldn't go down just so. Give the people an opportunity to decide who they want, and now everybody is doing it for the people. And the people, and the people, and the people. But yet you don't want to give the people the opportunity. You don't want to give the people the opportunity to tell you who they want to do it for themselves. And that is the badness. That is where the lies comes in. Romain Laville said, he have always been consistent with the things he have been saying. What exactly have you been saying, young MP? Because clearly it's about you. Clearly it's about you. Because now the people have seen what you have gotten. What was given to you. And again, I blame my leader for that. But I understand the political maneuvering trying to appease. And this is why coalition government does not work. New elections going to come, and I keep saying it all the time. I feel it in my gut. It's going to come. And we are asking for a resounding 9-10 seat victory. And Sxmtalk people, you're going to see what true representation and governing is. You're going to see. It is insane. It is insane. Sxmtalk people, keep your ears poised to the radio and reading the papers, but always try to decipher and get information for yourself. Always try to get information for yourself. I didn't get to attend the forum and panel discussion that Jeffrey and New Era in CPA put on at the Cultural Center. I heard it was a good exchange. I heard that Edwin Gums was on the panel, and we had the former Minister of Justice, Roland Duncan, also was there, and a lot of things was clarified. But I'm gonna get around it and find out what all was done and what all was said. But anyway, we have come to the end of our program, Sxmtalk. Take care of yourself. God bless you guys. Goodbye.
There was a time when people dare not utter a word. There was a time when people were in the dark and searching for accurate information. Just when all hope is lost and frustration hangs in the balance, Sxmtalk emerges and broke the silence. Join host Christopher Emmanuel for live and serious discussions and hard talk.